Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. The best way is... If you became a millionaire, would you keep working? You know? I want to tell you guys something. What's going on right now is California's trying to figure out about crypto. My name is Ben. We're talking balls.
Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the people's channel, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs. And here on this channel, guys, we are here to help you find financial freedom through crypto assets. My name is Frankie Candles, and I'm not going to be with you the whole show, but I'm just covering for Ben. I think he's recording a video right now. Shout out to Jenny Shorter, says, happy Friday. Don't forget to smash those likes and subscribe buttons, friends. Shout out to Jeremy. We appreciate you. I think I said Jenny. Jeremy, shout out to you. Shout out to the new Frankie Candles hat, now in coffee khaki color, I think is what they call it. But guys, we have a really, really good show for you. And I was just talking to TJ saying, you know, I was excited as Bitcoin was dumping this morning. And I'm like, yes, finally some volatility, finally something to talk about on the live streams. Last night, I was, you know, talking to the Candle Mafia saying, guys, I'm sorry. These past live streams have just not been that, you know, interesting. I mean, we make it interesting in our own way, but the price action has just been completely sideways, super, super boring. And finally, we got that volatility this morning. I was super hyped to come on here and talk about it. And then, you know, 10 minutes before we go live, boop, right back to 16.8. I'm getting trolled by Bitcoin, guys. Shout out to Crypto Anon. I see you, bro. But yeah, guys, we have an awesome show for you. We're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin. We got a lot of good stories. But first, let's go ahead and start off with a little bit of housekeeping. Don't forget to subscribe to BitBoy Crypto and all of our other channels. We also have my channel, shameless plug, Frankie Candles, the BitLab Academy, Hit Network, and don't forget, Around the Blockchain is now on its own channel, guys. So if you make sure you go subscribe to them, and don't forget Blockchain Basement. Shout out to TJ. Yeah. Go sub to Blockchain Basement.
Fun show.
A lot of people say it's the coolest show in crypto, and I would have to agree.
Nice.
But yeah, moving on here. Don't forget to follow Ben on Twitter and Instagram, now BitBoy Crypto. It used to be Dad Jokes for the Win, or is that his personal account?
That's his personal.
Gotcha. Yeah. And then don't forget Hit merch if you guys want some sweet merch. I think, are we going to work on getting some like this? Highly recommended.
Yeah, we're going to work on getting some, we're always new designs in there. 2023, we're going to have some really, I mean, obviously we've got those multi-coin jerseys that a lot of people like. We've got some new designs for those. We're working on getting those Sin City guys to send us the Ben and TJ face shirt designs. Oh my God. We might be putting those in there.
As soon as those are available to everybody, those are going to be the only two shirts I ever wear. I'll wear Ben one day, TJ the next. Yeah, so don't forget to check out Hit merch. And also, guys, Catching Up to Crypto, Ben's new book. Definitely go check that out. Also, if you guys tune into my live streams at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel, shout out to Crypto Billy. One of our mods actually donated 20 of these books to the channel that we're giving away to the Candle Mafia. So you can, we do tons of giveaways every single day on my show, and now you can win a free book. But moving on, let's go ahead and take a look at the markets.
0.2 movement on Bitcoin for the, what is that, the 24-hour 1% for the week? Nice.
Yeah, yes, for the week, 1.69%. Back at 16.8. Obviously, we did get a little bit of a dump this morning, but the DXY, we're going to be taking a look at the DXY in just a second. Pretty big dump on the DXY. But yeah, Bitcoin with that little dump this morning and then right back to 16.8. Super, super boring price action right now. Ethereum coming in at 12.59. Let's go ahead and check our top. Let's go ahead and check our top gainers of the day. Nexo up 4%. Loopring up 3.6%, Cardano up 2.7%. Check the top losers. I mean, yeah, talk about a sideways market. You got the top gainers and the top losers in the same percentages. You know, definitely sideways. But guys, let's go ahead and jump into some of these market watch stories. I'll move that over a little bit. So Bitcoin jumps towards 17K on positive U.S. jobs report. I would say it's crawling towards 17K. But the U.S. continued to beat expectations in terms of new jobs added for the month of December, according to the Labor Department. And I mean, this is a good sign. U.S. economy gained 223,000 jobs in December. They give you a little bit of a chart here. Monthly jobs gains from December 2021 to December 2022. And this is, you know, a big sign that a lot of people are watching for, you know, a big reaction in the markets. This is a lot of times when you start getting these positive jobs reports, this is kind of where you start to see things kind of start flipping back to the upside. You know, no guarantees, but this is definitely more of a good sign than anything. And then I think, yeah, this was a pretty short little story here. But we got one more here. Bitcoin's poised to come out ahead after bear market, but could it drop to this level first, says a top Bloomberg analyst. McGlone notes in a new analysis.
You can push in on that a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, sure. We'll zoom. Shout out to CoinLedger also, guys. This is not there because of us, but CoinLedger is an awesome, easy way to do your taxes, your crypto taxes. But yeah, McGlone notes in a new analysis that the potential for a global recession this year could be the top factor in determining Bitcoin's price, which is kind of what I basically is like where I stand at this point. I mean, the chart in terms of charts, the higher time frames do look like they may want to start flipping back to the upside, but there are a lot of things that are determining this other than the charts. Obviously, you don't want to bet, you don't want to bet the whole farm on just the charts. You want to pay attention to these other macroeconomic factors. But McGlone argues that Bitcoin is maturing into the mainstream and could be undervalued. He cites BTC's annual volatility, which is primed to drop to a new low versus the NASDAQ 100 stock index. And then you get this little chart declining relative risk, Bitcoin versus the NASDAQ. And then BTC is trading at $16,841 at the time of writing. He could have wrote this at any point in the past week or so, and it would have been at that price. The top ranked crypto asset by market cap is up 0.017% in the past 24 hours and 1.3% in the past week. It remains more than 75% down from its all-time highs of more than 69K, which it hit in November of 2021. Also, just something to remember, guys, we are still down 75%. I am slowly DCing into the market. TJ talked about this a lot, and I know a lot of other people do. Some people call it weighted dollar cost averaging. Some people call it dynamic dollar cost averaging. And it's basically just the idea of slowly DCing into the market. And then instead of trying to really time everything, if you get a little drop lower, you might want to add an extra 10% to each buy that you make. If you drop again, maybe add another 10% and just invest heavier and heavier as you go on your way down. So that is definitely something that I am doing, starting a few months ago, to be honest with you. So a lot of people were like, oh, you're DCAing in so early, you're going to get wrecked. And it's like, I'm not putting all my money in yet. And then, we took another drop down. I increased my investment a little bit. If we take another leg down, I will do the same. So let's go ahead and jump into the charts, guys. We do have a lot. We have a lot to look at, guys. Bitcoin's not moving. But don't forget, our chart section is sponsored by BitGet. If you guys want to trade on BitGet, they do offer free or no fees on all spot pairs. It's a great place. We've been trading on BitGet for a while now. I really like it. Super good platform. And definitely go check them out. We got the link in the description and in the chat. TJ just threw it in there if you guys want to sign up. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we got going on here. So major levels that we've been looking at, for the past week or so, all week on this show, honestly, is this level. And that is the POC at about $16,818. And it got a little bit exciting. This morning. We started coming down and was like, oh my God, volatility. Maybe this is finally the break of the range and the break of this very, very tight range as we're sticking against this POC. And then we came down and just got a snap right exactly back up to that POC. Kind of disappointing in my opinion, to be honest.
Well, and that's what's interesting to me is you'd think there's a lot of negative news out there right now. We've got another potential insolvency going on, like Huobi. There's things going on with Justin Sun and Binance, and not to mention what we were covering yesterday with Silvergate and DCG and Genesis all getting under a massive, massive pressure here. So you'd think it would have kept dumping, and the fact that it held, I don't know. It's interesting to me. If something else major falls and we don't see a dramatic reaction, it just makes me that much more confident that the bottom is in. Yeah,
TJ, I could not agree with you anymore. You make a really good point, right? Because I was saying on my show last night, guys, listen, we're stuck at this POC. Consolidation at this level seems likely. If anything, I would have to lean a little bit bearish because of all this negative stuff that you were just mentioning, TJ. We do have some, sketchy news out there that would be a great catalyst for a breakdown off of this POC. And then it started happening this morning, and I was like, this could be it. I'm in the Discord. I'm like, guys, this could be it. This might play out. And then boom, snap right back up to the POC. It's just not ready to make up its mind just yet. But I agree with you, TJ. If we start seeing all this bearish news actually start to, these bearish rumors start to come true, or we get more bearish news and we're not getting these catastrophic drops to the downside, it's definitely a bullish sign. I was talking to Garrett Soloway a few weeks ago on my show, and he was saying how the Celsius collapse was, bigger than the FTX collapse. However, the FTX event was obviously, a much bigger event, right? And the fact that we keep getting this bearish news and the drops are getting less and less severe is basically a bullish divergence, but instead of between the price action and an indicator or momentum, it's a bullish divergence between price action and news events. So he was saying that that is a pretty bullish sign, and I would have to agree 100%. So if we get another catastrophic event and it drops even less, this would make me believe even more that, we are really, really getting close to the bottom here. But we'll have to see what happens. But as far as levels here, guys, key level of resistance is going to remain that point of control. Until we get over this point of control, I am not expecting a move to the value area high at about $17,166. Until we get over that POC, I don't have high hopes for that. So as long as we get stuck under this POC, I would expect more downside. Levels remain the same. This local golden pocket coming in at about $16,560 will be a good place to look for a bounce. I'm not going to go ahead. Oh, I guess I could pull it right here. We actually did get a pretty nice bounce off of this local golden pocket. As you can see, we almost tapped that thing to the dollar. So this was a level we were looking at in the Discord for a bounce, and we did. I just hope it rolls back over. I would love to see Bitcoin come back down to these range lows. Wouldn't be a catastrophic move, but it would be a great place to potentially get into some longs. So
yeah, a lot of people in the chat seem to think it's going lower. I just put a poll in there to see if they think a drop's coming. A lot of people saying there's more dip coming. We could dip to 16. So on that value, it looks like that value area low you have is like 16,323. Yep. Is that it?
Yep.
If we break that, do you have any levels below that?
Oh boy.
Yeah. I'm just curious.
Not gonna like me now. No, yeah, there are definitely some levels, and honestly, so I don't have the levels up here, but what we could do is we could pull up that VPVR and just see where most of the volume is, right? So if we zoom out a little bit, I'll come to a higher time frame, like the 10-hour. Zoom out just a bit. I will say this: the level we're at right now is an extremely important level of resistance or support. I'm sorry. And we were looking at this on my channel the other day, and actually on Blockchain Basement the other day, TJ was looking at an article that was pointing this out, and I couldn't agree more. A lot of people are looking at this, somewhat of a falling wedge pattern that we do have on the higher time frames. I'm not going to draw this perfectly. I'm on a touchpad. I'm touchpad challenged, guys. But we do have this falling wedge on the higher time frames, falling into all of this really, really key support. So, and on top of that, we did recently see some bullish divergences forming on the higher time frames, which would indicate some form of a bounce to the upside. But we didn't really see much juice come out of those. But if this falling wedge does, it would be a good, falling wedge into key support would give you some form of a bounce, but obviously bear markets, you want to be very, very careful. We've had a lot of bullish signals on the higher time frames that did play out, but very disappointingly, just a tiny little pop to the upside, and that's all you get. Meanwhile, a bullish divergence on something like the weekly would be a very rare bullish sign. So you're in a bear market when those are not really playing out that well. So, but that is just something I am keeping my eye on. This is a bullish pattern, and we are at very key support. But as we zoom out here, guys, and let the volume populate here, the next real major level of support is going to be about 14K. That range between about 14 to 10K is going to be that next big level of support. Now, I know we do have some spider lines in the $15,000 range right underneath us, so those may hold just a little bit, but the next major level would be at about 14K, and I know it's a little bit zoomed out here. You guys may not be able to actually move to this chart, has a little more price history. Zoom out a little bit. And as you can see, that next little spike in volume, you do have a little bit of a gap right here.
No, where is right there? What number is that?
That's about 14K.
14K, okay.
Yeah, and then, that's not even the strongest level. The real strong level is closer to about 12,300. So, and then that goes all the way down to about, $9,400 where we have a macro point of control. I'm not calling for, Bitcoin to just immediately drop to $9,400. But if we do get there, it would make a lot of sense. We do have the macro point of control when looking at the entire, basically the entire price action of Bitcoin throughout history. Or not, yeah, I think that point of control, let's Yeah, it's right here. It's about $9,400, and this is all the way from the 2017 all-time high all the way to the current price action. So if we do come down, you would likely find very strong support there.
Extremely strong, yeah.
But yeah, it's if we break these levels, it's probably not going to be very good. We will likely go into the 15 and 14,000s. But another thing I want to take a look at here, guys, is the DXY. So if we pull up that 4-hour, this was something that I was talking about in my Discord this morning. You know, we were actually getting that dump on Bitcoin, but I also put an alert out to let everyone know, hey, we have confirmed bearish divergences on the 1 and the 2 hour for the DXY. Did we have one on the 3 hour? We did not. But the 1 and the 2 hour had confirmed bearish divergences. I mean, this was textbook bear div, and it absolutely tanked. So, you know, we were, you know, it was ripping, and it's like, hey, we're dumping, but watch out, guys. We're starting to make these bear divs. Then the DXY dumped, and then Bitcoin snapped right back up to the POC. Frustrating price action, super frustrating. It's like as soon as we get a tangible move to the downside, it's just like it just gets sucked right back up. So it looks like we could wind up getting into another situation like we did over the holidays, where we kind of just clung to this POC, which makes sense during the holidays because there's a lot less trading volume. But
well, and also what it does is when you're trading in such a tight range for such a long time, when it does get to the end of that range of that triangle, that falling wedge that you're talking about, it's probably going to be a pretty significant move, whether it breaks up or down.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, like you said, it breaks up. And the result of the poll was about 67% of the audience thinking there's going to be more drop coming. And somebody in the chat said, I'll counter trade that poll any day. And I kind of tend to agree. The fact that so many people are bearish right now, when the charts aren't quite as bearish and they're looking more bullish. Now, again, you know, you got to hedge everything with, you know, another insolvency or whatever could push us down. But if it doesn't do it substantially, I'm expecting a snap back up 17, 18, and start, you know, a quick move above 17 kind of fixes a lot of the charts as we move forward to then start eyeing 18, to start eyeing 20 as we move forward. So
yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I could kind of zoom out here a little bit just to let everybody know more like macro levels I'd be watching. Obviously, we are stuck in this little sideways range down here, which we've been stuck in forever. That's basically been the MO of this bear market. Shout out to Dave Digital. I see you, brother. But yeah, that's basically been the MO of this bear market. If you zoom out on the higher time frames, I mean, it's just been, you know, dump, bearish consolidation, dump, bearish consolidation, aka bear flags, just bear flag after bear flag, another one right here before another dump, and then another sideways range. But just to show you guys some higher levels that I will be looking at if we do wind up getting some bullish action. Again, you know, I've been talking to my communities. It is kind of hard to read right now, especially when you have, you know, you have price coiled up in such a tight range like this. The move is probably going to be pretty explosive in either direction, but it's kind of hard to call which way it's going to go unless we're talking about the micro term. Last night, I let my Discord know, hey guys, you know, I am leaning a little bit bearish going into tomorrow, but just so you know, like I'm not expecting a big to call the big break in either direction is very hard to do right now. But we did get that little dump this morning. And then, like I said, right back up to that POC, making it, you know, just completely boring again. But if we do wind up getting these moves back up, obviously the higher end of this range is going to be up here at about 18.4. And then if we are able to get past that 18.4 level, we do have this big little volume gap, and you can see that 18.4 level on the volume. If I zoom, it's going to change the volume if I zoom in, but if I stretch it out a little bit here, you can actually see.
Now you did it.
Yeah, now the lines are back on. But yeah, you can actually see here, this little pop in volume right here is not very big. So that's not going to be the strongest level. So we did get rejected this time, but if we come up to tap that for a second time, we could break through it. And if we do, there's not much above us all the way up until the level we were watching a few weeks ago. When we originally got this move up, we were looking for a pop to about 19,160. And that would be a really important level because that is a massive point of control. And if we could hop above that, that would be very bullish in my opinion. This might sound familiar. This is what I was talking about a few weeks ago. that would be very, very bullish because we would be back inside this old trading range, and it would open up the doors to possibly get a run all the way back up to these range highs, which obviously is being very speculative, and this is very far out if we do get this, but you do get into the the 20,000s and potentially all the way up to those last highs at about 25K. So until we get above this POC and break out of this the range that we're trading in right now, there's really not that much to be excited about. So one thing I will say is I am very short bias, just because we're in a bear market. You want to understand the environment you're trading in. So I am very short bias, but you want to be really careful that you don't get trapped in that state of mind, right? And this is something that I have to constantly tell myself is, I know we're in a bear market, but that doesn't mean just short and short and short. So one thing I will say, although I would say I am leaning a little bit bearish just because we're in a bear market, but one thing I will say is there are some time frames like the 4-day does have a confirmed green dot now. The 3-day is also printing a green dot. There's no bullish divergence. If we pull up the BitLab trading suite, and this is why I love the BitLab trading suite, because we are getting the green dots on other indicators. We're getting bullish signals on other indicators. But if you look at the 3-day on this significant movements indicator right here, it's unshaded waves, right? Which is not indicating a strong bottom or a strong top or anything like that. It's kind of just indicating indecision and potential ranging price action. So although we're getting those bullish signals on the higher time frames, BitLab is basically saying that, if BitLab had a giant big blue wave here on the 3-day, I'd be really confident in that green dot on the daily. But because it's not, you could add that into your analysis to kind of give you an idea of how well these other signals will play out. So but you do have slightly bullish signals on those higher daily time frames. The other thing I am looking at is, on the bullish side is it's just money flow, on these higher hourly and medium hourly time frames are starting to, play around and try to get back into the green. But again, I say this all the time, we are in a bear market. So you just want to automatically assume that you're going to spend more time in the red than the green. So
we definitely have some work ahead of us. When you're looking at those levels, like it's not going to be easy to clear those levels. They will be resistance. We'll probably tap off. Like that's what's going to happen throughout 2023, guys. If it's anything like what we've seen in the past in 2019, those things are key supports on the way down, and it seems like you blow through them a lot easier, but it's a grind to get back up above it. We will get rejected off of some of those levels probably 3-4 times, and then boom, finally flip it just barely, and then it can hang into support, and then get rejected 2 or 3 more times off the next level, and I'm talking like we barely clear 17.1, and then we barely get up to 18, and we trade in that range for a little while, and then we get between 18 and 20 for a decent time, and then between 20 and 28, and that's probably going to take the whole year for a lot of that to play out. So
yeah, and I always tell people, the bear markets are brutal. They crush you to the downside, and then they try to bore everybody else out of the market, which seems like that might be the stage we're in right now. But TJ makes a really good point. We do look at the charts in terms of ranges. So we know that if we get above this POC and hold it, it's likely that we can work our way up to the value area high. But, for instance, we do have a level right here at about 17.2 that would give you some sticking points. There are levels in between. Price action is always messy. It's not always like those diagrams when you Google, if you're Googling like chart patterns on Google, it's, always plays out perfectly. But price action's messy. So even if we do get above this POC, it doesn't mean that we're just going to shoot straight up to the value area high. It's actually very likely that it won't be that exciting, and we'll probably come up here. It'll tease us above here for a little bit. We'll get a fake pump back down to the POC, and then you might hang out up here, come back down, and then eventually you are likely to get back up to that value area high, but it's likely to be very messy. So we do have some levels above us. The other levels, if we do get above that POC, that I would be looking at, again, is going to be right here at about $17,000 even is likely to give us pretty strong resistance, being a psychological level. That even $17,000 mark, a lot of people probably have orders set there. So that is probably going to be a pretty strong level. And then, right above that, we also have 17,200 or, 17,150, likely to give you a little bit more of a sticking point there. And then once you bust through that, you should be pretty close to getting up to that value area high. So this is what I'm looking at, guys. Checking in on the SPY.
Let's go ahead and do the Twitter buzz.
Twitter buzz? All right,
I think
let's
that's
do it.
enough for charts. They get it.
Yeah.
All right, you might. I guess you don't need the earpiece for this, but you have to. You don't get to hear the song without it. Okay,
Oh no,
hit the wrong button.
I'll sing it.
Twitter buzz. Here we go.
Twitter buzz. All right, I can't see that name.
Zero Hedge.
Zero Hedge says WWE shares halted for news pending, stock up 17%.
Really?
That's interesting. What could be going on?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, if you don't know WWE World Wrestling Entertainment, Vince McMahon,
Is Hulk Hogan coming back?
I don't know. Maybe they're doing a metaverse. Who knows?
Interesting. And of course, they halted it.
Yeah.
Mason. Is that what that says?
Yeah, Mason Versalis. Yep.
Okay.
Crypto Mason.
Shout out to Crypto Mason. It's mind-blowing to think about the amount of people who don't know about XRP, Quant, and HBAR yet. So much progress made, but still so far to go. Absolutely. I made a video about HBAR, just kind of breaking down the coin. And it's so funny. Everyone's like, he's trying to pump his bag. I'm like, no, not at all. Just an altcoin breakdown. And we just kind of looked into it. Got a lot of hate because of the World Economic Forum stuff. But I'm a trader, guys. Like, listen, I'm all here for the decentralization of crypto, 100%. But if I think that a coin is going to perform well, I'm going to exploit that and try to make some money off of it. So
that's the point, right?
Yeah, that's the point, right? That's why we're all here. We're all here for freedom, but also to make some money. I'm not going to try to lie to myself. Caleb, is that what that says?
Yeah, Caleb Franzen.
Caleb Franzen says Federal Reserve officials saying that a potential recession would be short and shallow reminds me of when they said that inflation would be transitory. Interesting. TJ, actually, do you think, if you had to guess, are we going to see, just in general, 2023, super bearish, or do you think we're kind of already felt a lot of the pain that we're going to endure?
I think we've definitely, especially in the crypto markets, we've definitely felt most of the pain. We've gone through most of the drop, kind of what you were just saying. We're in the boring phase right now. And similarly for the macro economy, when they were telling you all it was transitory, like we're not in a recession yet, that's actually when we were going through the majority of the recession. Now I think we're close to the end of it. Now it's still going to linger on, and there's still going to be some effects of the inflation and the unemployment. When it comes to job loss, I think that's going to be felt next year, which again, generally speaking, is the sign that the economy is recovering or going back up. The markets will be. So from the markets and the traders' perspective, I think the markets will be better this year than last year from a job and, macroeconomic for, middle class. I think they'll actually start to feel the pain of the drop last year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think, someone just said the pain is just beginning. Someone said we're already in a recession. Yeah, I mean, I do tend to agree with that. I think we did feel a lot of the pain in crypto. Like we were saying, you see the FTX collapse wasn't as severe as the Celsius collapse. Would indicate, maybe we are finding a bottom here. But I do think that we could potentially just be in the boring, the boring section of the bear market here. If you go back to 2018, it's just straight sideways. Let's see. We got a super chat from Migatu. Says Hedera decentralized recovery of keys beta coming soon for all blockchains and DLTs. Interesting. Yeah. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. But yeah, and then the other thing is, when everybody's calling for, I was talking to Garrett Soloway about this, people are saying, oh, we're going into a recession or recession's coming. A lot of times you're already feeling you're already in the actual recession. And by the time they say, hey, recession's over, guys, everything's good, you've already missed the bottom. And, it could be by design.
Yeah, well, what you have to remember, right, is markets front run reality. So
absolutely. We've
seen the major pain in the markets, and then that's what's causing the constriction, the tight money, like less money is out there moving around right now, less, and so people are having to adjust for those jobs. We're seeing layoffs coming in Q4. Obviously, that you're not going to feel that until Q2 2023. So like I was saying, the markets have done most of their corrections, but the people won't feel that generally until about a year after. Kind of like with all the policy decisions, right? When they started printing like crazy in 2020, you didn't really start to see the inflation effects until 2021, and then 2022 they really kicked in, and then they started adjusting in 2022. So you're going to feel those rate adjustments in the markets felt those rate adjustments almost instantly.
Yeah.
If you watch the charts right after the meetings, the markets react immediately.
To the minute.
Yeah, but the people, it takes almost a full 12 months for the policy adjustments and the monetary changes to actually start playing out over the economy. So that's kind of why I think markets have adjusted mostly, but the people are just now going to start to feel the the job tightening and the, you know, obviously the effects of inflation and gas and groceries and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. TJ dropping gems. Let's go. Yeah, no, I agree. And, you know, like I said, I know a lot of people are calling for a 3K Bitcoin. I mean,
I don't see it.
I don't really see it. Nothing's impossible, but yeah, I don't tend to agree with that. But you know, if we do get down to that level of about $9,400 where we have that point of control, you want to remember price sticks to these levels. There's a lot of volume traded there. Price does get sucked to these levels. If we do get there, that's where I would, as a trader, reanalyze the chart. And if things started looking real bad at that point, then I find those lower targets. But as of right now, I don't really see why we would go down to 3K. And also, as of right now, the 4-year cycle is still technically intact. And we're only 75% down. So I would expect this drawdown in this bull market or bear market to be slightly less severe than the previous one. But, you know, if we do come down, I would expect maybe an 81. I wouldn't really be freaking out until we broke an 85% correction. If we started getting past 85%, I would, you know, that's where I would start to think that maybe 3K would be likely.
What's up, Damon? Hey, Damon said, hey, from Disney World. What's up, Damon?
Oh, hey,
what's up,
Damon?
Research guys there. Dapper Damon.
Shout out to Damon. Dapper Damon. All right. You want to move into some of these stories?
Let's get it.
All right. Let's do it. All right. Pompliano and Schellenberger clash over validity of Bitcoin. Let me zoom in on this a little bit so you guys can see. Bitcoin bull Anthony Pompliano and author of Michael Schellenberger debated the merits. I said author of Michael. Author Michael Schellenberger debated the merits of cryptocurrency with differences in opinion boiling down to contrasting outlooks of the role of government. Schellenberger made clear that his issue with Bitcoin is not based off of differences in values. Rather, his skepticism stems from the absurd libertarian fantasy that Bitcoiners can escape the government, yet governments are necessary for societal order and in protecting the weak and vulnerable. And then I'll just read this last part here. Schellenberger said, as a citizen of a nation state, that a nation state will use any and all means necessary to defend itself, whether that is conscripting people to defend a hostile invasion or confiscating bank deposits in a bid to stave off financial bankruptcy.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, he says, of course, governments would seize people's assets. That's what happens. You can say that's not fair or whatever, but if you live in a nation. So yeah. So he's basically saying if you're a citizen of a nation, you should be willing to let your government confiscate your funds, and that's your duty as a patriot. And I'm not necessarily a big believer in the greater good mentality of if I turn over my resources to my government, they're going to put it to the highest and best use. I've actually seen the very opposite of that the entire time I've been alive. So I'm going to side with Pomp on this one. Yeah,
I would have to agree. The one thing I will say is, I kind of talk about this with XRP, right? A lot of people say, you know, a lot of people think XRP is going to, you know, I don't know. You guys see the memes. They're not even memes. I call them memes, but it's people on TikTok saying that, you know, they're going to buy your XRP for $10,000 a coin. What? And I'm here, you know, even if on some technical level, you know, that would be technically a possibility.
It's not.
If you think, yeah, and it's not. But even if it was, if you think they're gonna let that happen, like in my personal opinion, I think they're gonna try to. If they know that if they do something with XRP that is going to absolutely rip and make a bunch of people super mega rich, I think that it's like likely they would try to figure something out, even if they use the technology to do it without affecting the XRP actual price of the asset drastically up. Sure, I think it will go up. I'm an XRP bull. I hold a lot of XRP. I want it to go up. But I just think if something crazy like that were to potentially happen to the price, I think they would do something to, you know, to offset that and not affect the actual coin price that much.
I like this one from SB Olive. It says, I'm a human being before I'm a citizen, and no government has the right to steal my property / wealth.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. And yeah, I would probably side with Pomp on this one as well. But yeah, shout out to Pomp. Let's move on to the next one. Altcoin trading dominance exceeds 50%. What does this mean for Bitcoin? Everybody out there trading them dog coins. As pointed out by an analyst in the Crypto Quant post, sustainable moves in the market have usually started with Bitcoin going up first. The trading dominance indicator measures the percentage of total trading volume that any crypto is contributing. Historically, Bitcoin and Ethereum have dominated most of the market volume, as their combined dominance has usually stayed above 50%. However, there have also been some points where the altcoins, other than ETH, have flipped the picture, right? A lot of people, I consider ETH the king altcoin, so I do kind of separate it from regular altcoins. But yeah, this is interesting. And then
push it on that. I can't really see that.
Yeah, they give us a little chart here.
There you go.
Okay, is there okay, yeah, so the white line's the BTC price, and then the green line is the volume of others. Interesting. Yeah, so let's see if we can...
So you can see there, actually, as it's the BTC price is trending down, the volume of altcoins is trending up.
Yeah.
Especially later in the year, especially after the FTX drop. I assume this is, well, no, after the Celsius drop right here.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Well, and also the thing to remember here is like a lot of times when Bitcoin goes sideways, that's also when you see the altcoins start to run. That is very interesting, and you can see it starting. The volume on the altcoins is starting to peak right now as we are just mega flat. And the altcoins do kind of have been deviating from Bitcoin a bit, right? Bitcoin's either, whatever Bitcoin's doing. There's been some really good trades we've gotten in the Discord where altcoins are just saying something completely different. And they're not just like random meme coins. They're like, coins like Cosmos and Quant.
Lido DAO has been crushing it.
Yeah,
like 50% on the week.
Hex is going nuts right now too. Hex is up, I think, like 17% on the day. Yeah, Hex going absolutely nuts. Shout out to Richard Hart. But let's see, do we have any? Yeah, so if the historical occurrences of altcoin dominance spiking above 50% are anything to go by, Bitcoin could see a decline soon. However, it's not certain, and there have been a few lone spikes above this level before that never ended up causing any noticeable effects on the market. Also, even if a decline occurs, its degree may not be as intense as in some previous examples. Again, kind of what we're talking about before, where Celsius was a massive dump, FTX also a massive dump, not as severe. And then if we do see another drop and it is less severe, kind of just adding to the narrative that we may be coming up. But this is what makes, our jobs so hard, where it's like, it's so hard. And I struggle, if anyone who follows me or this channel closely, you guys will know that, we get it right more than we get it wrong for sure. But it's kind of the hard thing where it's like, you could have all these metrics pointing in one thing, like we do here, another spike in the altcoin volume. But it's like, there have been times where this has happened and we haven't seen a typical reaction, right? So although it is likely for something to repeat like a pattern, it's the whole point of looking at charts. In my case, you're analyzing past trends, because a lot of times, not all the time, past trends can, indicate possible future, action. So, but, just nothing's guaranteed. So this guy's saying, hey, we're getting another spike. We might see a drop, but also we've seen this happened and it doesn't drop. So, but yeah, it more often than not, you could just see by looking at that chart, it typically does. Yeah, you can see huge spike right here, big dump. So very interesting. Something I don't typically look at is the altcoin trading volume. So that is an interesting article for me to read as well. All right, moving on. Mark Cuban, wash trading will lead to crypto's next implosion in 2023. Interesting. All right, let me just do a little zoom in here. Billionaire investor Mark Cuban has shared his outlook for the crypto industry in 2023. Cuban, who also owns popular NBA team, the Dallas Mavericks, has warned that the trading volume on centralized exchanges needs to be scrutinized, else they may lead to an industry-wide downturn.
I like Mark Cuban, but this is just one of those, like, you're new here. And, like, I understand, like, great, he's coming to this conclusion. You know what? Oh, a lot of exchange volume is faked and is wash traded. Like, it's been that way since before you got here, Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
And, it's just... Go ahead. Yeah.
I feel like these these billionaires and just like these celebrities, right? Mark Cuban's not just a billionaire; he's very famous. He's on Shark Tank. He owns the Dallas Mavericks, and I actually like Mark Cuban. I think he's funny. I love that clip. Have you seen that clip where he's getting interviewed and he curses? And he's like, the interviewer says, "I just got informed that you got fined $15,000 because you said the F word." Yeah. And he said, "So I have to donate more if I say it again." Yeah. And he did it. Absolute legend. But These guys just get automatic, like top tier validation when it comes to crypto as soon as they enter in. Meanwhile, there's other people that may not be as famous as him that have been here since the start and know much more than him.
Yeah.
But they automatically just get this like badge of expertise in the space. However, he's been in the technology space for a while, so
Yeah, I mean,
he's a
not
smart
wrong.
guy for sure.
He's not wrong. There is a
Right.
lot of wash trading on exchanges, centralized exchanges. Volume. A lot of them do fake their volume, but that's not going to tank the market. Like, that's
Right.
not a big scary thing. It's something that's been going on for a while. Sure, we wanted to get it more accurate so people can make better investment decisions, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and like you said, it's really nothing new. And then it says crypto's wash trading problem. The crypto market is particularly vulnerable to wash trading due to the availability of thousands of tokens. The lack of regulatory clarity only adds to the problem. A report published by the National Bureau of Economic Research found that over 70% of trading volume on unregulated crypto exchanges are wash trades. And I mean,
and it says, okay, 70% of trading volume on unregulated exchanges are wash traded. So, but most of the biggest exchanges are regulated. Most of
Right.
the exchanges that do most of the volume are regulated. So, I mean, I don't know if they consider Binance regulated or not. I mean, it depends on the jurisdiction. Obviously, they're all over the world. But you look at the top exchanges, Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, KuCoin, they're fairly regulated in the jurisdictions that they operate in, and they have much closer to accurate volume. A lot of people would say Binance's volume is a little bit faked, but
yeah. Yeah, you got to watch out for that stuff. As far as looking at charts for me, I do find that Bitstamp is, I always find myself going back to Bitstamp. Not only does it have a lot of price history, but it also has very, very accurate volume. And you will see some things pop up differently on those charts. And there are discrepancies between different charts. But yeah, I mean, again, nothing really too new here. And, I think most people invested in crypto understand that it's a new asset class. And, it's not going to be as safe as, investing in something like the stock market or, bonds, if you want to go even safer than that. Well, but, that's, I think most people know that. And most people aren't here for, to hopefully a lot of people that are in crypto are here because they know they can get a higher return on their investment rather than something like a bond or, an investment in the stock market. So I think a lot of people are kind of aware of that stuff. So, all right, moving on. All right. New York Attorney General sues former Celsius CEO for defrauding 26,000 New Yorkers. Interesting. New York fighting back. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to New York. New York Attorney General.
You gotta zoom in. Yeah.
There we go. New York Attorney General Letitia James. Letitia James. We'll call her Letitia. He said she was suing Alex Mashinsky for defrauding investors out of the billions in cryptocurrency. James added that 26,000 New Yorkers were among the hundreds of thousands of Mashinsky's victims. However, James maintains that Mashinsky also made numerous false and deceptive statements to recruit investors, such as lying about the platform's user numbers, also while repeatedly asserting that Celsius was safer than a bank. God. Mashinsky insisted that it only made safe, low-risk investments. In reality, James said Mashinsky routinely exposed investors' assets to high-risk counterparties and strategies, which is, as we know now, very much true. So, yeah, that's. I mean, it's nice to see them trying to fight. You think they're gonna get anywhere with this?
I don't know if they'll get anywhere with it. I mean, it needs to be done, though. I agree with the allegations. He definitely did make those claims. He definitely led people to believe, and that was the general consensus, that they were making moderate to fairly conservative investments with people's funds. Like, I think most people that were invested in Celsius assumed, okay, they're running Ethereum nodes, they're locking stuff up on Curve, they're providing liquidity on Uniswap, they're doing some of the basics within DeFi that will get you a higher return than what they're paying you. Like if they're paying out 8%, maybe they're doing some things that they can make 12% on. But no, they were doing insanely risky DeFi trades, trying to get thousands of percent, and locked up huge amounts of funds in very over leveraged trades that obviously backfired. And when it went down fast. So yes, the way they presented it to investors was definitely not the way it was. So I think it's a very legitimate case. But where will they get anything from it? I have no idea, because I think a lot of these bankruptcies and the way that Celsius is tied into block, like the way that all of these things are wrapped together is going to take a really long time to unfold. I mean, I know the SEC recently paused Binance trying to acquire Voyager. So we've got all of these things trying to get acquired and recovered and all that sort of stuff. And I think they're all intertwined in the legal battles to figure out who owns what is going to be extremely complicated.
Yeah. And, it's stuff like this. I mean, I know we've talked about this, TJ, kind of how, is the next bull run going to be the regulatory bull run? And I feel like this bear market has been nothing but a perfect blueprint for, regulation to come in here. But the good thing about that is that once we get that and you can get, the actual big money into this market, that regulatory bull run could be like the crypto bull run, in my opinion, and see that the biggest bull run we've ever seen, if that were to actually happen.
I agree.
So,
I think this next cycle will break the trend of diminishing returns, in my opinion. Like, we've had diminishing returns the last few cycles. I think it'll break this cycle and then probably regulate and go back to that afterwards. But we'll see.
I would actually, I think we talked about that on Blockchain Basement. I would 100% agree with that because, if you look at the diminished returns right now and then try to extrapolate that data to the next bull run, at least for the gains on Bitcoin, it's kind of disappointing to look at.
Yeah, it is.
But if we get that regulatory bull run, I agree, it could totally smash that out of the water and then, kind of reset the whole diminished returns thing. But moving on, Tron's Justin Sun confirms 20% layoff at Huobi. Let's see, this is what you were just talking about, TJ. In a bid to weather the unprecedented turmoil in the market, Huobi is the latest company to introduce job cuts. The crypto exchange is planning to lay off about 20% of its staff, a move that was confirmed by Tron founder and member of Huobi's global advisory board, Justin Sun.
And many believe Justin Sun is really the owner-operator, undisclosed owner-operator of Huobi. Just, not confirmed, just rumored.
Rumored. But yeah, the FTX-induced contagion has dragged down several companies over the past several weeks. More recently, speculation about Huobi's job cuts and strife in internal communications rang alarm bells, triggering significant withdrawals by investors. Yikes. According to data compiled by DeFi Llama, Huobi recorded an outflow of more than $85 million over the past 24 hours alone, taking its weekly outflows to nearly 136 million. It's like, sounds familiar.
Yeah. There's definitely weird stuff going on over there. And
yeah.
I believe they've been sending stuff to Binance. Let's see is there anything else in here?
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the tweets. Can't get my money off. Get my money off. Huobi's recently released proof of reserves revealed that the crypto exchange relied mostly on its own token to denominate its reserves. Oliveira, one of CryptoQuant's author analysts, revealed that around 44.36% of its capital is allocated in Huobi token, and described its reserves as having a highly risky setup at the moment.
Yikes.
Oh boy.
So basically what that's referring to, so we know FTX, they had FTT, and it's basically like saying, oh, well, we back all of the funds with this token that we created ourselves that has, this opaque, or this really unconfirmed value that we're pinning it to, and that's why we can do it. But if anybody started to withdraw all that stuff, obviously it won't really work. So, this is definitely concerning if 44% of their reserves are supposed to be Huobi token. You want them to have, if you have Bitcoin and Ethereum in there, you're hoping they're backing your Bitcoin with Bitcoin. You don't want to hear like, oh, I gave you Bitcoin and you're backing it with Huobi token that could go away tomorrow. Especially SEC's got, this is exactly what the SEC is taking dead aim at right now. Exchange tokens doing this exact thing. So this could be another one to fall. It doesn't look good in my opinion.
Oh boy. And maybe that $9,400 target is not too crazy.
Let me look real quick where they're at on volume. Huobi right now coming in number 15 on exchange volume. So it wouldn't be anything like, Bitstamp, Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, Bitfinex, any of those, but it's still, Huobi's a pretty decent size one. So beautiful.
Shout out to, can't say the name. Something Love says we need to have Candles host more often. Just saying. Hey. Shout out. We'll have to send you a hat. Anyway, crypto giant DCG shuts down HQ subsidiary amid global economic crisis.
Yeah, they shut down their wealth management division. I think this is what this is about.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
Digital Currency Group has announced that it is shutting down operations at its wealth management division headquarters, according to a report by the information. DCG is taking such a drastic step due to the prevalent economic situation across the world. To that effect, a spokesperson for the firm released a statement saying, due to the state of the broader economic environment and prolonged crypto winter presenting significant headwinds to the industry, we made the decision to wind down HQ effective January 31st, 2023. It's also worth noting that the news of HQ shutting down comes on the same day that Genesis announced a massive layoff itself. Genesis disclosed earlier that it would be parting ways with 30% of its staff.
Read that next one. Read that next paragraph. I wanted to read that. Recall back in November, Barry Silbert.
CEO Barry Silbert, Assuaged, I already see
assuaged investor fears.
Assuaged investors' fears, assuring them that there was nothing to worry about. That was despite DCG owing about $575 million to Genesis. Genesis later halted withdrawals barely a few days later as a result of this, and is yet to resume withdrawals as of this writing. In a bid to distance itself from the situation, DCG claims that it has no business with the matter, as it entirely Genesis liability. Nonetheless, DCG once appeared to be untouchable, but may fast be losing its financial stability. This is, I'm getting like more bearish and more bearish as we read these stories.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now, and I think we're right at a tipping point. But when I first read this, I was like, oh, this isn't good. But now the more I'm thinking about it, this could be a positive thing that comes out as a very negative thing. Because we know, obviously, DCG owns a lot of subsidiaries, right? And the DCG is the parent company. We also know, Barry Silbert owns pretty much all of most of these things, Grayscale and a lot of that kind of stuff. We know they did a loan to themselves to fill the hole on Genesis, right? At one point, Barry took a loan from DCG to Genesis to fill it. And now that liquidity isn't there. I'm wondering if they had this wealth management division, how much of their own other stuff is tied up within this wealth management division, just like it was in DCG or in Grayscale and Genesis and all their other subsidiaries. So maybe they're folding a subsidiary, like Ben kept referencing all these other personal investments that Barry had. And now he needs to liquidate those to activate them to, backstop DCG. Maybe there was enough in this wealth management division. If they wind this down, return all those funds to the investors, one of them potentially being Barry, now they can backstop and fill this hole and continue to operate without having any major issues. Just made that up, just my random theory after just reading that, but it may be kind of a silver lining here where they're having to fold one of their major companies, but they won't have to Chapter 11, which I think they already missed their window to Chapter 11 Genesis, maybe not. Cover on Genesis, make the Gemini people whole so the people can withdraw that money. We'll just have to see. It's fascinating to see all this stuff and how tied together it all is.
Yeah, that's an interesting theory. Somebody clip that in case it comes true.
See.
All right, moving on. MicroStrategy Marathon digital shares fall amid crypto bank Silvergate's woes. The stocks of business software company MicroStrategy and Bitcoin miner Marathon Digital both fell close to 5% on Thursday after their lender Silvergate Capital's shares plunged more than 40% amid large-scale layoffs and nearly $200 million write-off related to acquisition of Facebook's former stablecoin project Diem. Meanwhile, Marathon, which had borrowed roughly $100 million from Silvergate via a term loan and a revolving line of credit, said on Thursday it paid off another $30 million of the revolver in December, wiping out the balance. The amount still outstanding under the term loan wasn't disclosed. The move freed up 3,615 Bitcoin that had been pledged as collateral. Coinbase's shares fell almost 10% on Thursday, partly due to the downgrade from Wall Street investment bank Cowen, which cited the lack of clarity on trading volume recovery following FTX's collapse.
See, this stuff's coming not out of nowhere, but this is there's way too much pressure on all these publicly traded crypto companies right now, and the stocks are getting crushed. I think we're seeing new players accumulate them, or old players, maybe institutional players accumulate them, non-crypto people. And that's what I see happening right now. Pressure from the outside regulatory legacy players say, look, if you want to sit at our table, you got to play by our rules. Coinbase, you got to pay us $100 million just to keep operating. Or we're going to downgrade you on this BS metric rating system that we use for ourselves that's going to crush your stock price unless you play by our games. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing crypto industry trying to get a seat at the big boy table, and it comes at a pretty heavy cost.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, a lot of this stuff, the stuff yesterday, I was talking to some people in the office here about it, and do you feel like there are lower lows incoming, or do you kind of feel like we're bottomed out? What's your opinion?
I'm torn. I think where we're at is very strong. I think there's a likelihood that we could. I'm still close to 50-50 on it. But my take is I don't care if we hit 14 or 12 or 10. I'm a buyer at all of those levels.
Yeah.
So I'm buying a lot right now, and I'm buying a lot more at those levels. And I think again, we talk about it a lot here. The downside risk right now is much lower than the upside reward. So anytime you're investing, you're looking at risk versus reward. You're 80% through the risk. If you get a little bit more downside, sure, you'll feel it a little bit, but the upside is a lot greater. And if you're underexposed when we start recovering, you're going to be kicking yourself for the next 3 or 4 years. If it dips a little bit lower in the next 6 months and I get to buy a little bit more, great, but I'm not stuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if it takes off from here, for me, I've been DCing into the market. If it took off from here, get some gains. If it drops lower, hit some more of my buy orders.
That's right.
No big deal. All right. So moving on here, Kathy Woods, ARK Invest buys almost $6 million of coin, sells Silvergate stock. Shout out to Kathy Woods.
She dumped her Silvergate. That's interesting.
Yeah. All right. Kathy Woods, ARK Invest, grabbed another 5.8 million of Coinbase shares on Thursday as she continued to show confidence in the crypto exchange, even as its share price falls. It closed down 11% on Thursday at $33.53. It fell almost 90% in 2022. Okay, that was a short one. Just completely wrecked in 2022. I don't pay too much attention to the stock market, but I remember Kathy Woods was like the undefeated investor, and she got wrecked recently, right?
She's gotten wrecked a lot. She's generally leading, different thought, investing. Right now, she's heavy on crypto-related things, MicroStrategy coin. Obviously, she had Silvergate, that sort of stuff, which has been wrecked, obviously, in 2022. But you're playing on the 10-year, game, not the 1 or 2 year game. So, but it's very interesting to me that she sold Silvergate because that doesn't really line up with her thesis, I would say. If she's buying coin, I think she would be buying Silvergate right now unless she has some other information. And that's what these hedge funds and people trade on is information. So that's why I always say watch what they do, not what they say. I know Silvergate is the key linchpin in the entire industry. The industry can't function without it. Are they trying to replace it? Is Circle maybe the new Silvergate? Is that what we're seeing happen right now? Goldman Sachs using all of their tentacles to squeeze, to push down the traditional player. And, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's the theory I'm working with right now, that Circle is trying to take all of the market share from Silvergate.
Second theory of the show.
Yeah.
Second, somebody clip that one too.
I'm deep into this stuff. This fascinates me. The interconnection of all of these things just is fascinating to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kathy Woods. Shout out to Kathy Woods or Kathy Kramer. Anyway, moving on. 3AC founder subpoenaed on social media after constantly tweeting following bankruptcy.
Yeah. Now I know. Yesterday I was complaining why he deleted. I was like, I don't know why Suzu deleted all his tweets. That's really annoying. I wanted to use them on Basement. Now I know. He was getting served by the SEC. Like, delete them all quick. Delete them all quick.
Attorneys representing 3AC's liquidators tagged co-founder Kyle Davis in a tweet containing a redacted copy of the subpoena, ordering the duo to surrender all physical and digital company documents by January 26th, 2023. And there is the tweet. JPEG copies of the subpoena are attached to this tweet by way of service, and an unredacted copy of the subpoena was served via email and can be provided upon request.
Basically, both of those guys are on the, for you guys who don't know, Kyle Davis, Suzu, founders of 3 Arrows Capital, both on the run since its collapse. Nobody knows where they are. There's likely in a non-extradition country, but they've both been tweeting a lot lately. So this is pretty funny. I don't know if this counts as like, actually serving somebody, but they're both there and they're both legally on. I've never seen a subpoena served on Twitter before, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's what a time to be alive.
Yeah.
Davis's frequent tweets partly prompted U.S. bankruptcy judge Martin Glenn to rule in favor of liquidators' request to use social media to serve Davis the subpoena. However, the judge clarified that the liquidators could not subpoena Zhu since he is not a U.S. citizen or resident.
Interesting.
Okay.
Getting Davies, not Zhu. See,
it's
good not to be American sometimes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for real. Super. 3AC Davis subpoena because, yeah. Is it Davies or Davis?
Davies.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Moving on. Next story. So, oh God, our boy.
Oh, the haircut himself.
Yeah. Sam Bankman-Fried wants to retain ownership of Robinhood shares worth $450 million. Oh yeah, keep it, man. Keep it. It's fine. You don't owe anybody anything. FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried wants to retain control of Robinhood shares worth $450 million on the basis that the bankrupt exchange has no legal claims over the assets, according to a January 5th court filing. Meanwhile, bankrupt crypto lender BlockFi also argued against FTX's request to freeze the shares in a separate filing on January 5th. Interesting. So
yesterday they said the Department of Justice came out and said they were going to freeze them because it's highly debated who owns those shares. Obviously, they took a loan with FTX customer funds to buy them into they used a shell company to hold these shares. So they used FTX customer funds to buy them. They put the shares into a holding company. They then used those shares as collateral to take another loan from BlockFi. So that's why BlockFi feels like they have a claim to it. Now BlockFi insolvent, FTX is insolvent, and that's what I'm saying. Figuring out who owns what is the most complicated part of this, and everybody's trying to do everything they can from a legal standpoint to put their claim on things. So I feel like that the Robinhood shares do belong to the creditors of FTX, and that should be clawed back. But everything SBF and FTX Alameda was doing with the customer funds was designed to make it very difficult to claw it back, almost like they knew what they were doing was completely illegal the entire time, and they were trying to make it hard to know where the money went so they could hold on to as much of it as they could after they went belly up.
Yeah. Almost like it was on purpose.
Yeah.
That's
almost like they're criminals.
Yeah, almost like they're bad people.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's unbelievable.
Speaking of bad people.
Yeah. Chief legal officer departs FTX linked Moonstone Bank.
Oh, I thought this was going to be about Friedberg. Never mind.
It might be the.
No, you can go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. Moonstone Bank Chief Legal Officer Joseph Vincent, a former top banking regulator, has left the financial firm after being with the bank for just 8 months. Vincent is leaving Moonstone at a time when the bank seems to be in need of some legal assistance. Until recently, Moonstone was known as Farmington State Bank, which is located in the small town of Farmington in eastern Washington. The bank has a single branch, and prior to 2022, had less than a handful of employees. The bank changed its name to Moonstone in early 2022, just days before receiving an $11.5 million investment from Alameda Research.
Yeah, this was that bank. I don't know if you guys remember when it was going around. Tiny little bank. It had 3 employees, and then they said Alameda was supposedly making a small, indiscriminate investment. Well, they pretty much bought it for $11.5 million, which, there's sketchy stuff around this for sure.
Here comes perfect time for there's so much sketchy stuff going on.
It is.
Alameda Research, a hedge fund that was also founded by FTX's founder Sam Bankman-Fried, and you guys know trustworthy people over there. The March 2022 deal valued Moonstone at more than $115 million, despite the fact that at the time the bank had a net worth, according to the data from the FDIC, of just $5.7 million and just $10 million in deposits. In the third quarter of last year, Moonstone's deposits jumped up 71 million or 600% in a single quarter.
So basically that FTX gave them a ton of money, way more than they should have ever given them, way more than they were worth. And then all of a sudden, all this money starts pouring in out of nowhere that this bank has never seen before.
Yeah, suspicious. Time for, this just, contagion is the word of 2022.
Yeah.
That's, things are sketchy. Regulation, it's like they're asking for it. All right, moving on. Shanghai upgrade to include Ethereum unstaking.
This could be interesting too.
Yeah. The confirmation brings welcome relief for stakers and vested parties who, following ongoing speculation over indefinite token lock-in, now see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Just for some real quick perspective, guys, if you don't know, when the ETH2 upgrade went from proof of work to proof of stake, you could lock up tokens to get Ethereum rewards. At the time when it was supposed to be done, you were supposed to be able to withdraw them within 6 months of the merge. They didn't have a timeline on it because they weren't able to put it into the last upgrade. It got pushed here into the Shanghai upgrade. So now when the Shanghai upgrade comes out, there will be a definite date and timeline when the staked Ethereum on ETH2 that's been there for a long time can start to be withdrawn. So the key there is, though, it still has to be withdrawn at a withdrawal rate, which this will probably talk about, but we'll see.
Twitter user @mstive expects as March approaches, a radical increase in staked Ethereum will occur, pushing the staking ratio higher and more in line with other chains. Despite the bearish narrative surrounding Shanghai from some quarters, @Elite Crypto thinks the upgrade will be a bullish driver for the second largest cryptocurrency, perhaps even sparking a return to pre-FTX price levels. Interesting.
I don't know about that.
What is pre-FTX price levels for ETH would be, let's see.
$2,000 or something?
Yeah. Where is, boom. So that would be about, when was FTX?
FTX was the last one.
That one. This one right here. Yeah, so about 2K.
No. November. I'm saying that you're looking at Celsius and Three Arrows Capital. It's more.
Oh, this one.
That one.
Yeah. So that would be, about 16, almost 1,700, which wouldn't be that much of a pump, to be honest. I mean, it would be decent. It would feel like a moonshot. About 22%.
A lot of people are arguing this is going to be bearish, though, because once it's unlocked, you got a lot of these institutions and a lot of these people that have a lot of staked ETH that need that liquidity and that capital. So they're going to be withdrawing it and selling it, and they haven't been able to do that yet. And that's part of why, there's theories of that's partially why Ethereum's been holding better, because there's so much of it locked up that can't be sold. Now,
right.
I don't know if that's true. That's speculation, obviously. I tend to think it won't have as dramatic of effect one direction or the other as people are speculating. So just, keep that in mind.
Yeah. Shout out to Creighton. He says, smash the like button. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. Smash the like button for Frankie jumping in to cover Ben today. This isn't his job, and he's doing great. Thank you, Creighton. Also, didn't know I was doing this.
Yeah, he was supposed to come on and just do the
30
charts,
seconds. I was supposed to come on and do the charts. I have not seen any of these stories yet. So I am.
You've done a great job. Frankie.
Yeah, this was hot on the spot here. Oh, God. Hey, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bit Boy. Bing bong.
Oh, whoa. That was the longest video I've ever recorded. I'm out of breath.
They were saying, what is he doing down there? Like, there's no way he's still recording a video.
Guys, this CoffeeZilla Logan Paul thing's so big. And I got information that nobody else had till last night. And it's going to give a lot more context and fill in a lot more of the tools. Dude, those are the steepest stairs.
When you run up and down those stairs, there's no way not to run out.
That was really stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did that.
I do that sometimes right before basement. I run to get something out of my office and then run back, and it takes me like 5 minutes to, settle down before the show starts.
You guys make sure 10 o'clock tonight. It's a good video. It's a lot of information. We go into some things they didn't go into. And look, I keep it real in the video. I keep it real about Crypto King. I keep it real about Logan. Keep it real about CoffeeZilla. Just keep it real all the way around. Try to be as neutral as possible, if you will. I'm not saying I'm neutral between CoffeeZilla and Logan. I mean, obviously, CoffeeZilla didn't cost people money, but, with other players on the scene. Okay, are we still talking show or no?
Yeah, I mean, we were about to hit the XRP section.
All right, XRP Army. There you go. Throw the X up if you're in the XRP Army. I came back just for you, my little ripples.
Here, I want to get. Can I get your take on the DCG shutting down their wealth management division?
Yeah. Is there something else that they shut down as well? Did we cover that?
I don't know if they shut down something else.
Let's see. Hold on one second. I think Kat shared an article, or somebody did. DCG.
Yeah, Wire. I'm surprised that hasn't gotten more. Wire shutting
well,
down.
it's European.
We covered it, but yeah.
I think that's why. I think it's European. Let's see. Shutdown, close management business. Oh, maybe this is what it said. It said HQ subsidiary. Yeah. Okay, that is what it is.
Yeah, and it's
so they shut down their wealth. Now I'll tell you this. There's an interesting play here. There's an interesting play.
I wonder if you have the same. Go ahead.
Dan Freeberg. Okay. He got that proffer deal. Okay. He's probably not facing charges. That means he is either a Fed, like TJ said, which I don't believe, or he's got incredible leverage on someone. The assumption is, because of his relationship with Deltec Bank, that it's Tether. Okay. Maybe he's got some insider information about Tether that'll be very damaging to them. The New York Attorney General just went after Celsius and Alex Mashinsky yesterday. They've also gone after Tether before.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one?
Which
the FTC also went after Tether. So the New York, political banking world, the Wall Street world, they want to take down Tether. We've already talked about why with USDC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's the easy play. It's the obvious play. But what if Dan's got something on DCG and Barry Silbert? Because Dan tied to Deltec and Tether. Okay? You wouldn't see this coming. Tied to Deltec, tied to Moonstone, tied to Tether. The number one borrower of Tether, of USDT, was FTX. I think they had 18% of the supply at some point. Whatever it was a crazy amount. Maybe it was 18 billion supply. But the fact is, what you're going to find out in the coming weeks, I don't know how long it's going to all take to come out, is that DCG, FTX, they were all in cahoots. All of these companies were in cahoots at one time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crossover between these.
Well, and Genesis becomes the smoking gun that ties them together in a lot of ways.
Now, what is the big play from Barry Silbert and Digital Currency Group and BlackRock and Coinbase and the government? It's USDC. Dan Freeberg, they were going to do their own stablecoin at FTX, if you remember, right 1 month before everything happened, before the leak occurred to CoinDesk. So I wonder if maybe Tether and Dan Freeberg, maybe they actually could work together to out Barry Silbert and Digital Currency Group and maybe damage USDC. USDT, a lot of people think it's dead. A lot of people think it's going away. A lot of people think it's going to be gone in America. That's the direction it looks like to me, to be honest with you. But are they going to fight back? They got a lot of money. They got more money than USDC. There's 44 billion USDC, 66 billion in Tether when we looked at the other day.
Well, wouldn't the fact that he's cooperating with US, mean that he's more likely to help them attack USDT and cement USDC as the victor?
Well, I don't know if they're thinking that's the angle. Maybe they want to go after Digital Currency Group and Barry Silbert. We're talking about the Southern District of New York here. We're not talking about we're not talking about the U.S. government that's going to determine what a federal dollar is going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying
it's something to think about.
Yeah.
Everybody's thinking he's going to go against Tether. That's the only person he could have or entity he could have leverage. But there's a lot of crazy stuff going on with Digital Currency Group right now. I know there was a hint of an investigation. I don't think we got confirmation of that.
No.
But wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
If that turned out to be true a couple days after Dan Freeberg flips.
Well, here, I was going to ask this.
I'm running for Speaker of the House, guys.
We know you have talked about some of Barry's personal investments. We know they're trying to come up with the money to cover on that Genesis loan or insolvency hole, basically. So at first, when I read DCG folding their wealth management division, I was like, oh, this is not good. They're having to fold other things. But then it got me thinking, we know a lot of what they do is, loans to themselves, taking it out of this pocket into that pocket. What if a lot of Barry's and other people within DCG's are in that fund.
And now he's liquid.
And now they have to roll it out to get the liquidity.
Ooh, that's spicy, TJ.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
that's a good theory, man. That's one of your best theories.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, that's a great one.
But so like to the market, it sounds very bearish. Oh no, DCG's going under. They're going to fold. And then all of a sudden next week they cover and, you know, we hit the bottom of that triangle and then boom, maybe get some bullishness. We'll see.
Okay, so that is what I want to talk about. Let's see. Let me talk about Ripple real quick because we didn't even go into our Ripple story. Ripple's ODL represents 90% of 6 trillion FX market daily. Wow. 90% of the Forex market is ODL?
What?
That's a huge surge in ODL in MENA countries. I've talked a lot about that. Prominent member of the XRP community, Wankaman, has shared a link to a recent interview of Naveen Gupta, Ripple's managing director for South Asia regions in MENA. This is where he says that ODL in 40 payout markets, representing 90% of 6 trillion daily FX. Is that not Forex? What is that FX?
I would think that'd
else?
be Forex, but
Future? I don't know. It won't be futures. Okay. Let's see here. The use of remittances in MENA countries at the moment is expanding. According to Ripple's top executive, he expects the company to expand its operations there to match growing demand. Gupta stressed that by using crypto liquidity, Ripple can create new products for markets that the traditional financial system and its tools cannot reach. Ripple's also working with NYU Abu Dhabi on creating several startups, which would later activate the local ecosystem. So the ODL, man, I'm telling you guys, banks are using it. They're going to use it. It's going to be adopted. That everything that you're seeing across the world is showing that, even if it does get banned here, but it's not going to. And I think the American banks are going to move into that as well.
We didn't hit this yesterday that the SEC stopped the Binance acquisition of Voyager. We didn't cover that. We should have hit that.
Really?
Yeah. They basically they paused it.
I didn't hear that.
Pending further investigation or something.
Interesting.
Limited objection, I think is what it says here.
Files limited objection. Okay.
Yeah. Let's
see what this means. Agency asking for more details about how the crypto, they're trying to get the books.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do. They're doing the same thing to him the CZ did to Sam. Let's see. What is this limited? I tell you with the government and the SEC, I'm sure it's not really limited.
Yeah.
Let's see. Board your plan separately, not compliance, blah, 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 blah. What is a limited objection? Doesn't say. Has been told that a revised disclosure statement will be filed prior to the next hearing on motions. Is this going to turn into a thing? Let's see. They seek the approval of bankruptcy on January 5th. That was yesterday, right? Yeah. So, okay. Very interesting. Quick hits. We got Charles Hoskins saying ADA is accepted at his new big venture. Here's what it is. It is a falcon training farm where they're going to be training falcons to fly around the world and deliver ADAs to African countries.
I thought I was going to be training falcons to deliver mushrooms or something like that. Those are his two side hobbies, mushroom farming and
could train falcons to win football games.
Is that possible?
Well,
it's a lot of training.
We hadn't had one coach that could do it yet.
Yeah.
Charles Hoskinson.
Hey.
Could you imagine Charles Hoskinson coaching a football team?
I just want it. How awesome would it be if we could get a Falcons coach that had a Falcon sitting on his shoulder the whole game? That would be amazing.
I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What is it here? Founder, blah, 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 blah. Launched clinic can pay. Let's see. Accepted a restaurant. Adopting ADA for his non-blockchain business. Wow. Let's see. It's a health and wellness clinic. Are you doing longevity insurance, Charles? Can you put me alive in a Cardano metaverse after I'm dead? Hey, Ben, what kind of company, blockchain related, would you start in 2023? In 2023, I would start a NFT exchange, obviously an NFT exchange. I typed that a few minutes ago. Look, that may be something that happens here, but like really looking at it, trying to think of like, if I were to just start one on a whim, what would I want to do? I mean, it's a good time to start asset management. If you got a financial license, for sure, as you're preparing for the bull run. I mean, one of the easiest things to do is get involved in marketing in crypto, and get involved in, I would start a Twitter Spaces company that managed Twitter Spaces for people. That's what I would do.
Hey, Emmanuel, Spider Wolf.
Emmanuel, do you think it's a good idea?
Oh, sure.
Like a service that, for companies that will run their Twitter Spaces for them. It's $10.99. You pay them per event, whatever it is. I think that could be pretty good. Maybe you help them get sponsorships, and then you get a percentage of that. Look at your meta ads. I'll be sending you an ad campaign adjustment upgrade to push the new book. Hit merch. Congrats on the first copy.
Yeah,
well, thank you, man.
Come on by, man.
Yeah.
You'll hang out.
Yeah,
I'd like to see
definitely.
you. Yeah.
Let's see. MetaMask removes wire from aggregators. Immunify researcher saves 200 million. DOJ charges against alleged mutant ape planet NFT rug pull. Yada yada yada. What was the thing I was going to go back to? Do you remember? I said.
Nope.
Man, what was it? I do know one thing I want to do, which is show my book. Guys, don't forget to hit me up on Twitter. Check out the pinned tweet. I know you probably already talked about it. We're giving away some cryptos. We're giving away some signed books. My wife read the book. She not read it. So if you've had a chance to look at the book, wrote a really nice thing to her in the beginning, and of course she cried. She cries all the time though. That's what wives do sometimes. Not because they're sad, but just because she cried when I handed her the book. And I was like, "Oh, you read it?" And she was like, "No, I'm just the book. I'm crying over the book." I was like, "Okay." So you guys know she loves books. This is a big deal to her. She told me this morning, though, she started actually reading it, and she said she hadn't put it down. She said she's probably going to read it all in one sitting. She said it's exactly what people like her need that kind of know generally the basics. She said she increased her understanding of crypto like 100-fold today,
Wow.
which, honey, you could ask me. Books are a security. That's right, because you can buy and resell them, especially college textbooks. Definitely securities. So there you go. You guys can check out Catching Up to Crypto. Make sure to do that. Let me log in here to, I'd made a nice trade.
Nice.
A nice trade.
Real quick while you're logging in, what's going on with the profile picture on Twitter? I saw you tweeted out new profile picture, but you didn't actually update the profile picture.
No, I did.
Oh.
That's what's so funny is it updated and it let me tweet out that it was updated, but I thought it was like blinking or something because I was like, wait, why did it go back to the old one? It's like the XRPL punks or the X punks, like it just doesn't want to go.
Is it maybe a Twitter blue thing?
Yeah, I think it's a glitch. We'll try it in a second because I can actually my Bored Ape is in a collection in my account that I can try it with. So let me log in here. Log in. I like how you can log in on BitGet with this little. You can just scan this QR code.
Mm-hmm. It is nice. It's like that's how Discord works too.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Man, yeah. Something else worked like that I ran into recently. This is a new wave of things. It's kind of like almost 2FA. Okay, so here we are in my account. Let's go to futures. Let's go to MCoin. Coin M futures. All right. So you guys know I've been in this short from 17 or 16, 8, 15, somewhere around there. Almost got stopped out. Moved us to my stop loss a little bit and didn't get stopped out. I was still responsible. But as you guys see, I do not have a trade open right now. It's because I closed that puppy. Made a nice trade yesterday on this. Let's see. Can I click open orders, pension, order detail? Is it this? Or I can show the... Okay. Order details here. These are small orders broken down, so that's not really what I wanted to see. Order history. This is my closed P&L for this trade. Let's see, is the date on there? I want to make sure it's the same one, 6/6. That's right. That's the combined. I had 2 entries into it that were very close. That's the combined P&L right there.
Nice.
That is 0.1745 approximately. Bitcoin, that works out to, what is that right now? Like $3,500, somewhere thereabouts. Yeah, that sounds about right. $3,500. It was a nice trade. I just started with this account like a few weeks ago, and I told BitGet I want them to have a better analysis of a better way we can track these trades on here because there's just not a great way. If you go here, I think I can show these little cards. But you know what people will say? They'll say, oh, well, you know what? You are only showing us certain trades, blah, 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 blah. I want a better way that we can actually show you the realized trades that we have here.
Like in a list.
Yeah, on a list. Because This is the same trade. This is just it closing multiple times because it hit the trigger, and it was a limit order and not a market order. So market orders are terrible. I mean, it's a great way to get out quick, but you're going to lose so much money on those. It's not even funny here. So let's see here. Transaction history, leverage history. It's probably futures where I want. Futures. Is that it? Do I go to isolated margin? Nope. Futures, and here it is the same. Oh, I'm on wrong one. There it is. Man, on mobile, it's got this little thing where you can show these little pictures, but you can't do it here. Maybe it's on the homepage. Nope. Man, I really want to show you guys so many cool things, but I can't show you anything on BitGet right now. It really sucks. What I can do is I can actually go to futures, go back to the coin, go back to transaction history, order history. Okay, so these are my P&Ls for my trades, basically, okay? So I got 0.04, 0.13, 0.016, 0.005. That was just trying to get out and not getting stopped out or not liquidated because I have a stop loss. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 successful trades in a row. Lost 0.03, so 4 out of 5 winning, 5 out of 6, 6 out of 7, 7 out of 8, 8 out of 9, 9 out of 10. And let's see here. Is there a next? Show the most recent, order details. I want to show more of these, and I can't. So I would love to show you guys exactly how much I'm up, but you can't. But I have made, as you can see, a lot of green trades and only one red trade. How am I doing this? Of course, I am doing it with our BitLab indicators. And I'm not here telling you this because I want you to buy them. Sure, go buy them. It's great. I'm telling you this because they really, really, really work. Let me get on, I need to get on mine here. Let me go to a different tab in Open Trading View. New window.
While you're pulling that up, another interesting thing that came out of some of the articles today Kathy Woods buying coin, selling Silvergate, which was interesting to me. She dumped all of her Silvergate shares.
She did.
Yeah.
Well, it went down 40% and she sold.
Exactly. So it makes me wonder if there's industry insiders that might know something. I don't know if Circle wants to be the new Silvergate or what the angle is there. We know, there's that weird stuff that FTX was doing with that Moonstone Bank or whatever it was. Yep. So obviously somebody wants to compete with Silvergate for that business. They had a really sweet setup being the only crypto bank that banked all the big dogs. And now they've been squeezed like they've never been squeezed before with withdrawals. And
I'd like to do that to you.
Yeah. Withdrawals and, their stock price getting hammered. And I could see, a hostile takeover or basically them just setting up kind of like the battle between USDC and Tether. Maybe we're seeing something between Circle and a Silvergate. That's
very interesting. I wonder if at some point Coinbase may try to get in that game. Yeah, I could see it. All right, guys. So just taking a quick look at these indicators. I just kind of want to show you what I saw that made me feel like pretty good that it was going to go down 2 days ago. It's why I took the short. And obviously it did go up slightly, but it did come back down. Is this here on the relative extrema? A red candle on the top outside of the little yellow wave there, that's really bearish. That means the money flow's red, and I think that's what that is, the money flow. That's what the color is for. But it's out of the range, and the money is starting to come in on a negative side. So that was one thing that I looked at, and I started going down these time frames. And I started looking here on the 16-hour chart. You had a bearish indicator. Here, same thing on the 12-hour chart. I started going down like, my gosh, every single one it crossed. And I know Gareth was on yesterday saying, hey, it's going to be really bullish, potentially in the short term, but in the much shorter term, it looked to me like it was bearish, and I did win out on that. Use a lot of these time frames together for confirmation. That's a good way to do it. My strategy so far is this. Look for a solid time frame that's got one of these candles outside of the extreme wave or the normal volatility wave. And that's when I start looking. When I see one that's heavily out of that, that's when I start going in. so far, even though 2 of my last winning trades, they were dicey. I did have stop loss, but they were dicey. In general, this system is working the same way that we had Market Cipher working during the bull run, and I'm really excited to see how far we can get this up. In the account right now, I got how much do I have in the account? Let me go to the other one. I've got over a Bitcoin now. I've got let's see, what is 1.26 Bitcoin.
Nice.
That's a big move.
Yeah,
big move we made here. So we're going to try to get this to 10. And we're going to see if we can get it to 10 Bitcoin and then we can turn it into 100. This may be the top of the bull market because I'm very confident in trading again.
Yeah.
That's how it feels.
Yeah.
It's choppy and I'm still winning. Give me a lot of confidence going forward. And I think these indicators, we're only going to get better with them. And we're going to go back to showing these trades. What do you guys feel about copy trading? That's what I want to know. Can you do a quick poll?
Sure.
Maybe for just 2 minutes here, see what they think. Are you interested in copy trading my account? I'm not going to do it yet on BitGet. That's what I want to know. So basically the way that copy trading works is you set your account up to do the trades that we're making here. Frank's people don't want him to do it because they feel like that's shortcutting. They want to learn how to trade. They don't want to copy what Frank's doing. And I get that. So that's why I want to ask and see what people are going to say. Because if people don't want it, I don't want to do it. The way that I make money other than having winning trades on that is if you win because you follow my trades, your overall profit, I get like 10%. You're paying 10% to copy the trades. Now, if I lose, you quit, obviously. But I would really, really want to be careful here. So this isn't something I would take lightly if I were to do this, because obviously I don't want people to get wrecked. I'd probably have to run tighter stops and things like that. But I don't know. I'm just interested. I just want to know what you guys think about that, because some people like it, some people don't. So Frankie's is a more granular audience. I mean, I don't know if grannies are in there or not. I'm not sure. I do know the grannies love nice calves. So 64% of people say yes. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Something I'm going to think about.
Yeah.
Something I'm going to think about.
Well, we'll keep dialing the strategy in and testing it. And yeah.
Yep. Stop losses can't be the same if a lot of people do it or no. There's a limited number. Like we can't have 10,000 people in there doing it. I think 1,000 is the max. We might do 500. I'm not sure. What about legal implications? There's no legal implications because it's, what did we talk about that on the other day, TJ?
With what?
About the legal implications of like, I'm not giving you financial advice.
No. Yeah. You're just executing trades and it's a different platform.
And the platform is copying it.
Yeah. It's all software.
Yeah. But seriously, I know we got, not financial advice, blah, 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 blah. I think it's so stupid. Do we even have to say it? I don't even know when you're supposed to say it.
I don't know.
It's so incredibly stupid.
Every time Nick comes on Basement, he says everything he says is financial advice.
It's so ridiculous. Like I want to say something someday like, everybody go out tonight and buy a $1 scratcher. Financial advice. That's what I want to do and see what will happen. Or lottery ticket securities. No. I just think the whole thing's so stupid. Like, what? You think people watching this channel like need disclaimers sprinkled throughout? It's so dumb. It's unbelievable. They're not coming to the show because I've got charts behind me and I'm showing you, I've got a financial degree back here. Nobody thinks I'm a financial professional. Nobody thinks that. I'm a YouTuber that does crypto and has some overlap in that world. That's what I do. I educate. So, I just think it's really silly. I think it's so incredibly silly. But anyways, then go and talk to a financial advisor and they'll lie to you.
I got to go.
Exactly.
I'm late for a call.
Okay. All right. Well, I got to go. TJ told me I wanted to stay on a little bit extra because I was late.
I'll send somebody else over here. I just got to go.
No, I think they want to go. I saw that. But you guys come back tonight, 10 o'clock, watch the video. Logan Paul and Coffee. I have no idea. It might be 45 minutes. It's going to be a really long video. We're going to do it in one part and be done with it. And it is what it is. Portfolio video come in a little bit later. Maybe I'll break down my my P&L for the portfolio video because we're not going to make any moves today in the regular portfolios. So that's all I got. Be blessed. I love you guys. I'm going to be at Sin City Crypto on Monday. Sin City Crypto on Monday and Tuesday. Live streaming on this channel from their studio. That's all I got. Be blessed. Big boy out. Also, go dogs.